Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Alisha, and today's episode is a special one because we're looking back at an entire year.
That's right. As we reach the end of 2025, we're going to talk about our experiences, our accomplishments, our travels, and the fun moments we had. While we do that, you'll also learn how to talk about the past in English, including how to use past tense naturally in real conversations.
And that's not all. During today's episode, you'll also learn 10 interesting phrases that native speakers often use in their daily lives. We'll explain each phrase as it appears in the conversation, so you can understand how to use them naturally and confidently in real situations. So, as we are at the end of 2025, let's talk about everything we did this year.
It feels strange to say that out loud. At the beginning of the year, 2025 felt very far away, and now we're already looking back.
Exactly. And today, while we share our stories, you'll notice that we mostly use the past tense because we're talking about completed experiences.
Let's start with accomplishments. Looking back, I think 2025 was a year where I really stepped out of my comfort zone.
I agree with that completely. You didn't stay in the same routine this year. You tried new things, took risks, and honestly, it changed the way you carry yourself.
It definitely wasn't easy at first. Some decisions felt uncomfortable, and I wasn't always confident, but I'm glad I didn't avoid them.
You just heard a very natural English phrase, stepped out of my comfort zone. When someone says they stepped out of their comfort zone, it means they did something new or challenging that felt uncomfortable at first, but helped them grow. We usually use this phrase when talking about self-improvement, learning something new, or facing fears. For example, I stepped out of my comfort zone by speaking English in public. Another example is, she stepped out of her comfort zone by starting a new job. Honestly, I feel the same about my year. I think I pushed myself further than I expected in 2025.
That's very true. At the start of the year, you set goals that felt ambitious, and by the end of the year, you actually achieved most of them.
I surprised myself too. There were moments when I thought, maybe this is too much, but I kept going.
You just heard another useful phrase. Pushed myself further than I expected. This phrase means you did more than you originally believed you could do. We often use it when talking about personal growth, hard work, or challenging situations. For example, I pushed myself further than I expected while preparing for my English exam. Another example is, he pushed himself further than he expected during his training. What impressed me the most is that you didn't just set goals. You actually followed through on them.
That was something I focused on this year. I didn't want another year where I only talked about plans.
And that made a big difference.
You just heard the phrase followed through. When someone follows through, it means they complete what they promised or plan to do. We use this phrase when talking about responsibility, discipline, and keeping commitments. For example, she followed through on her plan to practice English every day. Another example could be, he followed through and finished the project on time. One thing I'm proud of is that I didn't wait for motivation. I wanted change, so I made it happen.
That mindset really shows. You took action instead of waiting for the perfect moment.
Exactly. I learned that action creates motivation, not the other way around.
You just heard the phrase made it happen. This means you took action and turned a goal into reality. We often use it when talking about success, determination, and effort. For example, he wanted to improve his English and made it happen. Another example is, she dreamed of traveling abroad and made it happen. Speaking of new things, food was a big part of my 2025.
Some of your food stories sounded exciting, and some sounded risky.
That's accurate. Trying new food is always a hit or miss.
That's such an honest way to describe it.
You just heard the phrase a hit or miss. This means something might be successful or unsuccessful, and you can't be sure of the result. We often use it when talking about trying new things. For example, ordering food from a new restaurant can be a hit or miss. Another example is, learning from online videos is sometimes a hit or miss.
I felt that way too, especially with certain foods. Some dishes didn't impress me at first, but they grew on me.
That usually happens with strong flavors.
Yes, and now I actually enjoy them.
You just heard the phrase grew on me. This means you didn't like something at first, but over time you started to like it. We use this phrase when opinions change gradually. For example, English listening practice grew on me over time. Another example is, that song grew on me after I heard it a few times.
Now let's talk about your biggest highlight. You went to Japan with your girlfriend.
Yes, and that trip really opened my eyes.
In what way?
It changed how I see daily life, culture, and even time.
You just heard the phrase "open my eyes." This means you learned something new or gained a new perspective. We often use it when experiences change the way we think. For example, traveling abroad opened my eyes to different cultures. Another example is, reading that book opened my eyes to new ideas.
During that trip, I felt like I was truly living in the moment.
That's rare these days.
It is, but it was refreshing.
You just heard the phrase "living in the moment." This means enjoying the present without worrying too much about the past or future. We often use it when talking about travel, mindfulness, or meaningful experiences. For example, on vacation, I focused on living in the moment. Another example is, he learned to live in the moment instead of overthinking.
Now your turn. Tell us about your beach trip.
The Philippines was exactly what I needed. That trip helped me recharge my batteries.
You came back with completely different energy.
You just heard the phrase "recharge my batteries." This means resting and recovering energy, both mentally and physically. We use it when talking about breaks, vacations, or relaxation. For example, I took a short trip to recharge my batteries. Another example is, taking weekends off helps me recharge my batteries. Some of the best moments happened because we didn't plan everything. We just went with the flow.
Those are usually the best memories. You just heard the phrase "went with the flow." This means accepting things as they happen instead of controlling everything. We often use it when talking about travel, relationships, or relaxed situations. For example, during the trip, we went with the flow. Another example is, instead of stressing, she went with the flow.
Now we'd love to hear from you. How was your 2025? Did you try something new, travel somewhere special, or step out of your comfort zone this year?
Think about your experiences, even small ones. They matter, and they're great opportunities to practice talking about the past in English.
As we move into 2026, we truly wish you more success, confidence, and exciting experiences ahead.
And if improving your English is one of your goals for 2026, this channel is here to help. You'll find many different practice styles here, including shadowing practice, listening podcasts, speaking conversations, and real-life dialogue practice.
Make English part of your daily life, stay consistent, and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
We wish you an amazing 2026, and we'll see you in the next episode.
If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like.
Yes, and if you want to practice English like this every day, subscribe to our channel. We help you practice and improve English faster.
Yes, let's improve our English together. We will see you in the next video. Bye!